Good afternoon. Convening this Wednesday, January 7th, 2026, council time meeting, and we'll start with the roll call.
Counselor Young,
Here.
Counselor Belcott,
Present.
Counselor Fuentes,
Here.
Counselor Little,
Here.
Chair Marshall.
Here. Are there any amendments to the agenda?
Yes, just on 9.2, that will include potential after action.
Okay. All right. Public comment. There's no one in the room. Okay, that's great. They had a lot of people yesterday, so.
Caller, you've been sent a request to unmute yourself. Please do so. State your name for the record and go ahead with your comments.
Good afternoon, Kimberly Goheen Elbin. This morning or this afternoon, I'll be speaking on the proclamation that you have about your neighborhood outreach program. I read it a little bit yesterday and I'm kind of perusing it a little bit today. These neighborhood outreach programs sound really good. In fact, were kind of encouraging to me until I went to a couple of them, and I found that they're actually somehow tied into the county. I don't know if they have to, I think you have about 74 of them or something, but I don't know if they have to comply to anything, but it seems like they should not have to. They definitely can be open to the meeting. I'm finding difficulty in having people call back from these entities. And my concern is, and has been, that when I've attended a few of them, say Hazelden or a couple in Vancouver also, they all tend to, and I'll say this for lack of words, but look democratic in nature, whereas we're a republic, and that's what I stand for. They really could care less basically about the public. So I don't know if they looked at me as an entity that was outside of their neighborhood association type thing or what, but they're always usually open. So I brought up a concern about Vancouver wanting to annex Hazeldale, and they just poo-pooed it down. They ignore and this and that. So what I'm thinking is they're their own entity following the direction of the sanctuary government here we have. And so I have an issue with that. A few other things on the agenda. So I guess I'd like to start a neighborhood association in La Center. Does anybody know if we have one? There's one, La Center United. I know that they were pro what was going on with the schools and all those pornographic books that were going into things, but I'm going to be going to my school board meetings here and peruse the library, see what's going on. Certainly to take over a government, you got to start with the children first, and that's been going on for 50 years. Yeah, it was quite a big 9 o'clock meeting this morning. On the agenda itself, I cannot tap on, I was able to tack on 8.2, the Echo Homeless funding letter. Basically, that's been an unlimited funding stream for all of the entities that run this, but actually the homeless, in my opinion, are not being helped. You know, I drive down there to Vancouver quite often and drive through the homeless.
Thank you. Your time is up. Is there anyone else online? Okay, anyone in the room who'd like to speak? Okay, that concludes public comment. Then moving on to old business, minutes of December 3rd, 2025. Are there any corrections or changes to the minutes? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Move to approve. Thank you.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. On to new business, and I don't know if Jordan is oh, he's online here. Proclamation request neighborhood program 30 years.
Yes, so I'll hit the highlight on this one. Marilee had brought to our attention that it is the 30-year anniversary for our neighborhood outreach program. And so we thought it might be nice for council to acknowledge that in a proclamation. This program has been instrumental in making sure that our community is well informed of county business areas in which that may impact them, as well as hear feedback from them as well. So this is just a draft proclamation. If council has any changes and if you're supportive, we would look at reading that at the next January meeting.
Okay, any comments, suggestions from the council, or thumbs up? Thumbs up all around? Sounds good.
And who would like to read that?
I would be interested in reading that one.
You go to a lot of neighborhood association meetings, okay? I think that sounds fine.
Thank you.
And receiving, I think we could just invite the neighborhood associations, whoever would like to come in, and it would be good to see them.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, this is going to take a little while, I think. Council board assignments. And we go through this the first of every year. These boards and commission meetings are starting up lickety split. So we can go through these, and it's been pretty amicable. But if there are two counselors who would like to serve on one of these boards or commissions, they can do as the lead or as an alternate. And if two want to be the lead, then we'll just vote on that.
And if I could just call your attention, Jake in our office, as well as Michelle, did update the spreadsheet based on council's questions and feedback throughout the year. So what's new on the spreadsheet, I know we'll pull this up as well, is if it's required for council attendance or if it's optional. And if it's required, we did note where it is required. Sometimes it's required by RCW. I will also note that if it's required because of an agency's own bylaws, the council could ask them to update their bylaws. If a counselor doesn't want, or if the council doesn't want a counselor representative, we can always ask them to amend their own bylaws to say or designate or remove this position. So I just wanted to call that to your attention as you go through these today.
Do we know which ones are required because of the entity's bylaws, or are required by law, or does it indicate?
It does indicate under the purpose, it does
Okay.
notify where it is in there, whether it's again through state law or bylaws.
Great, thank you.
Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
And also Michelle forwarded us an email of an opportunity to have, it might be a requirement to have a counselor on the FSAC committee reviewing the transmission corridor, which I assume is going to be a huge time commitment for whoever does that. Is that something we add now or decide
We'll
later?
discuss that today as well. And Michelle did talk to their director. It's my understanding that their standing meetings are during our council time meeting, and they also, most jurisdictions, designate a staff member who will report back to the council, but counselors can certainly do that. But I would say, I would recommend just going through all of this, and then we can pick up that one at the end.
Okay, thanks. All right, then let's just move on down our list here. So we have these ones highlighted in yellow. We all serve as the Board of Health. We all serve as the Industrial Review Bond Board. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's when requested by CREDC. Okay. Counselor Fuentes, you should inform us about that.
I had no idea of what the IRBB is until now.
Okay, well, we're all on it. Board of Greater Clark Parks District, we all serve on that. I think that's just an annual meeting. Emergency Medical Services District Board 1 is the full council, and that's an annual meeting too that comes before us as a council when they're asking, I think, for their bond or levy. And then there's EMS District 2 Board. I have served as the chair. Councilor Belcott has served as well. The EMS District 2 Board is going to be expanding to include an additional city representative and an additional, well, something new will be one of the fire district commissioners. So I'm happy to continue on that. Councilor Belcott?
Yeah, I will too, because a lot of that falls in my district, like it falls in yours.
That's what I was thinking.
I have one question though, because I could have sworn last year or the year before, there was something on this spreadsheet that said, like by virtue of you being the chair, you had to be on that border committee. Oh, okay,
Yeah, this is
sorry.
the chair plus one, so
Oh,
chair
got
plus
it,
one
okay.
counselor. Yes.
Just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything.
You'll be my +1, Counselor Belcott.
Thanks. I'll stay on that.
Okay, that sounds good. CTRAN, the chair +2. I think there's some uncertainty at the moment if there will be. I think one of those +2 is an alternate. And it may be that there be a requirement for us to have 3, but that's not been finalized yet. As the chair, I'll continue.
Chair, I'd like to continue as well, sitting on the CTRAN board.
Okay.
I would like to be on that board, again.
Okay. As one of the members or the alternate?
One of the members,
One of the members.
since I was removed.
Okay. Is there someone who would like to serve as an alternate?
Is this an alternate to after the chair +2?
The chair +1. At some point in the year, it may change.
Okay, well, I'd first like to decide the total 3 and then.
It's the total of 2. So that we'll vote on between Councillor Fuentes and Councillor Belcott. But right now I'm trying to identify an alternate.
Okay, not at this time.
Well, there are 3 people that want to be on it in 2 seats. So wouldn't we just say at this point we deliberate and decide who those 2 people will be, and then the third person would serve as alternate?
Okay, we can try that. Let's see. I guess we can just do a thumbs up. So who would be in favor of Councillor Fuentes serving on the CTRAN board? Okay, we just needed 3, so, and Councillor Belcott, would you be willing to serve as an alternate?
Sure.
Okay, and then as things get decided at the CTRAN level, we'll see what that looks like. Okay, moving on, RTC, it's the chair +2 right now. It's Councillor Belcott and Councillor Fuentes. Is there anyone else who would like to serve on that board? Regional Transportation
Maybe.
Committee. Okay, hearing none, I think the 3 of us will continue.
Are we going to look at alternates as we go down?
That's a great idea.
It would be good to have,
Okay.
yes,
I
I'm
was,
seeing a strong nod
I
from
think we-
Michelle, because it makes it
Yeah.
easier when we have someone designated as the alternate, as the first person to contact. And I think for many of these boards and commissions, there can be questions about achieving a quorum. So it would be good to have an alternate.
So we do need to circle back to the EMS District 2 board for an alternate, but since we're on RTC, I currently in the alternate and would be willing to stay in that capacity.
Okay, and I'm assuming Michelle, Rebecca, you're keeping close track of all of this. Good. Okay. Right. Oh, so circling back to EMS District 2 board, who would like to be an alternate there?
It looks like I am the alternate. I'm happy to serve in it unless someone else wants to.
Okay. That'll be good. Okay, Vancouver Library Capital Facilities Area Board. It's the chair +2. Who's serving now?
Me.
Okay.
I'll stay.
You'll stay? Is there an
Yeah,
additional?
I'll stay as well.
Okay, stay the course there. Clark County Reserve Officers Relief and Pension Board, the chair plus one.
Chair,
Yes.
do we need an alternate for the
Oh,
Vancouver
I'm
Library?
sorry, yes,
Okay.
alternate for the library.
Looks like that's just once a year, annually, third quarter.
That is a criteria that
Oh.
makes it easier to jump on board there.
And
boy.
these meetings are normally, aren't they, right before our council meeting? So it's literally 10 minutes before our 10 o'clock meeting.
Oh, I'll be the alternate.
Oh, okay, great. Thanks for that reminder. Okay, Clark County Reserve Officers Relief Pension Board,
I'll
chair
s-
plus one.
I'll stay on that. This
Okay.
was my third year doing that.
I don't recall a meeting.
There are every 2 to 3 months. We just had one right before the holidays. I don't think you've ever been invited though.
I don't think
Maria,
I've,
who retired, she's
So Michelle, if you can put a note to make sure that one's actually on the chair's calendar, as she wasn't invited last year.
okay, thank you. Okay, so that one will remain the same. Election Canvassing Board, the chair and the chair may designate other for specific meeting. And I have designated Counselor Young in the past. I don't know if you'd like to continue
So
that.
I think we do need to have a discussion on this one specifically because who we choose for this would be affected by upcoming election later this year. So whoever is on this board cannot obviously do so when they're running for
Okay.
election.
I'm
So,
not going to ask anybody to
and I have
declare.
served on this board the previous 2 years. It is actually a really
It's
fun
very
one to do.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So-
I'll look down to this side of the
It's gonna have
table
to be us.
as far as a designee. And so probably one of you will have to be the lead and one of you will have to be the alternate.
I would just say that the training has to be done. You have to be trained in order to serve on that.
Yep, we are both half trained, but we intend to be fully trained
All right.
at the next.
And it's limited on the time you can train. So
And
you
we are
really,
super aware of
it will
that.
cause issues if we
Yep.
don't have it.
It's on our calendar for the next time. Michelle made sure of it.
And I will say, because I served, I think, almost an entire year on it, there's no flexibility because when they have to sign the paperwork for the elections to go up to Olympia, you have to be available with the PA and.
Okay, in that case, because I travel a lot, it might be better if
That's fine.
you're
I can-
lead
I'll
and
lead
I'd
it.
be alternate.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. It's great training.
Mhm.
Emergency Commissioner, the chair, alternate vice chair. Not sure what that means.
That he's the.
That means you serve as a primary and I'm
Oh, you're okay.
the
So
alternate.
our vice chair serves as the alternate. Okay, that's clear enough. Finance Committee, just me. Identity Clark County, which is an optional one, but it's just 1 hour a month. And, I enjoy having a conversation with Identity Clark County. So I'll continue there. And Law Library Board of Trustees, it's the chair. That's one I would like to see if that is, where's that? If that's required by statute.
Does look like it's required by RCW 2724.
Okay, I'll keep doing that. Mental health sales tax, the chair plus one. The plus one has been Counselor Little.
I've loved doing that if I could continue.
Okay, and who could we have for an alternate?
I'd be happy to be alternate on that.
Okay, thank you. School Advisory Committee, the chair plus one. And I think Counselor Young, you were the alternate or the plus one. Or
Yes, I was a plus one. Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm happy to continue in that
Continue there?
capacity. Yeah.
And what about an alternate?
I have kids in the schools, would be happy to help.
Okay, it's just 2 meetings a year. The planning department convenes that, so it's just a way to keep communication with the school districts. Okay, Area Agency on Aging and Disability, and I received a letter from the Area Agency on Aging and Disabilities, hoping that Counselor Fuentes would continue in that role.
I'll continue serving on that role.
Okay, anyone else interested or interested in being the alternate? It's 1 meeting a month, correct?
Yeah, and they generally don't last more than an hour, hour and a half.
So we'll need an alternate.
I'll be the alternate.
Okay, thank you. I think you served on that at one point.
I
Did you?
didn't. I
Oh, you didn't.
haven't.
Oh, maybe it was.
I
you
talked
were-
to them because a couple of them live in my district.
Right.
So I see
It's
them all the time.
Hazel Dell. Okay, Audit Oversight Committee. This is one I've served on. They're infrequent meetings. I've enjoyed it. I'd be happy to continue. Unless someone wants to do that.
Real quickly, what exactly takes place in those meetings?
We review what audits are underway, what audits are, they're looking forward to. 1 year we went through like the questions that they solicit input from all of the departments.
Okay.
The ver-
Interesting.
It is very interesting. You want it?
I think I did.
No, I just was curious.
I did it my first
Okay,
year, I think.
all right then. Okay, would you like to be the alternate?
Sure, Councilor Fuentes was last year, but
Do you want to?
if he wants, I'm okay with either way.
Go for it.
Okay.
Okay.
You seem enthusiastic about it.
Okay, that leads us to the Children's Justice Center.
I'm currently happy to continue.
Okay. Is there an alternate?
I was alternate last year. I can continue that.
Continue. Okay. We no longer have the Climate Project Advisory Group, so that's scratched. CREDC. Let's see, was CREDC mandatory?
It's an optional one.
Optional one.
This one I had a question about because I'm wondering if these roles can be different than being on the actual board of directors. Because as we learned yesterday, the person in the room who had the most knowledge, which was Councilor Fuentes, couldn't actually present recommendations for us to act on. So I'm wondering if there's a way to actually just be an advisor or someone in the room participating to bring back information to us. Because that was kind of awkward. You have a conflict if you end up on the board of directors because you have a fiduciary conflict.
Right. That is an issue with some of the others.
Well, I think you would still have that same conflict though with the executive committee. You're still leadership of the organization.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we can create a role where they're present at the meeting, but they aren't actually on the,
They're not part of the board or the
Right.
executive committee.
yeah, this is kind of a legal question.
Or because it's optional, we just choose not to sit on it.
We could choose not to sit on it. We could choose to sit on it not as a board member. Either one. I think, because CREDC, I think we were wanting to have a closer working relationship with them, and I think they felt that way as well. Might be good to have someone present and attending the meetings, and we could talk to maybe they need to change their bylaws. I'm not sure, but I think that's a point well taken.
Well, let me ask Chris this question, because yesterday, as a result of a vote that was going to take place, I had to recuse myself, right? I attend these meetings monthly. I can come back and provide an update as needed because there is no vote being taken at that moment. Is that correct?
Assuming that the information is public information, though, it's not the county's business to tell you what to say that you learned at CREDC. That would be their business. But yeah, you can absolutely update as long as there is not a vote.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
And when I'm looking at the notes on here too, it says optional, but the part that's in quotes says permanent seats, preferably an elected official or their chief administrative officer, Clark County. So that to me means actually we do have to have somebody on the board that may not be optional, but it's optional if it's a counselor versus somebody else, unless they change their bylaws.
Okay, well, we can make this easy. I have enjoyed sitting on CREDC on both the board and the executive committee, so I want to continue sitting on it if nobody else does, on both.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Discovery Clean Water
I
Alliance.
think we need an alternate.
Oh, sorry, alternate.
Kathleen, were you suggesting that it could be a staff member as the lead or the alternate?
That's what it says in the quotes right next to that on your spreadsheet. It says preferably an elected official or their chief administrative officer.
It would be nice to have a staff member there, at least as an alternate, so that there wouldn't be that conflict.
Well, the alternate doesn't attend these meetings. They only attend
Right.
in the absence of the primary.
Right. Thoughts?
But the chief administrative officer would be you.
Right. So then,
Right.
and I'm the one that brings forward the contract. I mean,
Mhm.
it's depending on what council's comfort level is. I mean, like with many of these, you have authority there, and sometimes you may have to recuse yourself. As the chair mentioned, this is not the only board or commission that you may have to recuse yourself from a vote. Does not stop you from sharing information, though, that is of interest for the entire council, as long as it wasn't shared in an executive session.
Right, not the chief administrative officer, but I think there could be some value in Jordan being that alternate and attending from time to time.
I think he's more than happy to do that. Council chooses. He
Uh,
just messaged
he's
me, so I'm not
he
making
just
it up.
Put his thumb up. Okay.
I would love-
Save your voice, Jordan.
Thank you.
I'd love to have him on there, and the only thing that I am concerned about is what does he have to let go of because we're putting him on there. I'm consistently having this concern.
This
And
would
if
be the
but if he's the
alternate.
alternate, he would not be attending. It would only be
Okay, so
Counselor
it'd be just
Fuentes,
occasionally. All right.
unless the counselor wants to be alternate. I mean, that's not
No,
committing Jordan to
I-
anything unless Counselor Fuentes
I would
can't attend.
prefer a staff member be alternate on this one. I think it's, I think this is one of those ones that it's really, I think it's important for us to be there at each meeting, and sometimes it doesn't always work out with the alternate. It might be a little bit easier for staff to be able to cover that. But yeah, Jordan would be great. I just always have that concern that we're giving him too much.
Okay, thank you for that. Discovery Clean Water Alliance. I have served on this. It serves, really serves most of my district. I'm happy to continue. I know, Counselor Young, you took the tour, so if you'd like to take it.
I wouldn't mind, but if you are interested in staying in that role, I'm not going to keep you from it.
I think I could be the alternate.
Okay, I'm happy to do that. It was, I would encourage all of you to take that tour. It was really interesting.
It's
Really
a
interesting.
fundamental part of our infrastructure. Okay, thank you. Elder Justice Executive Board. EJC? Is that you, Counselor Little?
Nobody.
No, in fact, it's blank on this year's participation, surprisingly.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Is that a mandatory?
Is. Yeah, it is.
Have we just not been attending those, or have they not actually
Maybe,
happened?
It was off for 2025 for whatever reason on the sheet. And at the end of the year, I think it was you, Chair Marshall, that attended the one meeting that they had at the end of the year.
Oh.
And yeah, it was like,
Right.
yeah. So then, and then we had talked about them coming forth and being on for the full year and a
How
council being
often,
appointed.
how often do they meet?
Um,
Says quarterly
Quarterly.
meetings.
And they're
Okay.
hybrid.
They're 3 to 4.
Right.
What day is that on? That's kind of an important
It's
part.
the Friday,
Right?
third Friday of every 3 months.
That's
It's,
the discovery.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
quarterly. Yeah, my apologies. I read the wrong line.
I don't think that they, unfortunately, they don't think they have a set date and schedule yet.
okay.
So, but I do know that it is quarterly. So I've tried to put as much information that I got from Eric in there.
Right. It was a very good meeting that I attended, and that's where that issue of the cryptocurrency ATMs came
That's
up.
going to be on their next agenda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm interested in that. When's their next meeting?
I'm
They-
sorry, I don't know off the
Oh,
top of my
don't
head,
know.
but I'm
Okay.
happy to get that information to you right away.
All right. Okay, I'll go ahead and say I'll do that. Is there an alternate?
I'll be alternate
Okay.
on it.
Great. Where am I at? Ending community homelessness organization. We've got 2 counselors who've participated in that. Do you want to continue, Counselor Young and Fuentes?
I'll continue.
Yes, I would love to continue. And then in terms of who would serve as chair, I'm happy to continue. But if you would like to take that opportunity, you're also welcome to.
I'm leaving it back.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
You're doing an amazing job as a chair.
Well, thank you.
Okay, and alternate.
I would be happy to do that.
Okay. Great. Fairground liaison. Oh, 2 counselors.
2?
Oh, no, I'm
Just-
sorry. I was looking at the wrong line.
I'd be happy to stay on that one. We didn't meet last year, so it's very occasional.
Oh,
I'll just stick with that.
that's the perfect committee. All right, jail steering committee, that's scratched. We'll have work to do collectively on that going forward. Joint Policy Advisory Committee on Transportation. This is a Metro Regional Government committee.
They have not given us that seat back. CTRAN currently holds the JPAC seat.
Oh, so that's assigned by
RTC.
RTC.
Yeah.
Should it be on this list?
We haven't had that position since before the 3 of us were elected, so maybe probably
Okay.
not.
There was some talk about us asking to take it back, but I don't know where that ever went.
Last year it didn't. They had CTRAN continue on.
And it's within their authority to make that determination. Okay.
It was RTC's. It used to be going back and forth, but last year they decided not to.
Who's they?
RTC.
They
RTC?
decided
Yeah.
not to.
Okay. Well, they're the ones that are responsible for assigning who's on their board, right?
Not necessarily. That's a whole other conversation.
Okay.
Well, so I'm wondering if we keep it on our list.
No.
Probably not. Okay. Good work. Okay, I'm scratching that one. Juvenile Justice Council. Counselors required a prime and an alternate. Who was on that?
Counselor Fuentes is, from my record.
Same.
Counselor Fuentes.
Wow. Okay, then I'll continue sitting on that one.
How often do they meet?
I don't recall meeting with him at all last year.
Okay, well, maybe Michelle can follow up on that one. And
I have the information. I'll get it to you.
okay, good. All right. Law and Justice Council.
Do we have an alternate?
Oh, alternate.
And if nobody else is interested, since I'm on CJC, it's related, I could do that.
Great. Sounds good. Law and Justice Council, I've been serving as chair for that, and I'm happy to continue on with that. And is there an alternate?
I'd be alternate on that.
Okay.
I was last year.
Oh, you were last year. Okay. I know I gotta miss more meetings so you can participate.
That's right.
Okay, Law Enforcement and Firefighters Disability Board.
I'll keep that.
Okay, and do we have an alternate? How often did they meet?
Quarterly.
Quarterly, okay. Looking for an alternate.
I'm happy to be alternate.
Happy, okay, good. And then Lower Columbia Fish Recovery Board, Counselor Little,
I love that one.
okay. I don't know if I was the alternate. I did think I did attend one meeting as the alternate.
I was the alternate.
You were the
Yeah,
alternate.
Yeah, but
You must
maybe
not have been at
I
that.
think there was like, was that the one where there was confusion and like we both got invited or no, that was something different. Either way, if you want to be the alternate, I'm happy with that, or I could be.
I'd be happy with you doing it.
Okay, sounds good.
There's so much happiness.
We're all right. Let's hold on to that. Okay, Metropolitan Policy Advisory Committee. Again, that's what is that a Metro one? Metro Regional Government one? Impact. So, is that optional?
It is optional. I currently sit on that. I see no value in this council sitting in that committee.
So I would add to that. I mostly agree with that. There's been, because I served on it for I think 2 years, and I think in all of those meetings there were probably less than 5 times that anything came up that involved Clark County or Vancouver. But there were a couple of times, and this is one where it just consumes our time. But I'm leery about leaving it because there could be important issues that come through that board to us.
Yeah, it was a lot less times mentioned. The city of Vancouver or Clark County mentioned this past year, and so I don't believe that there's any value in us continuing to contribute 2 hours a month to this committee.
I also think part of it too is because they're in their comp plan update, and that has really been the entirety of their discussion. So it might broaden a little bit when they finish that. I don't know.
I would rather not sit on it though. It sounds like you might be
I
interested in
prefer
sitting
not
on
to
it.
as well. It's one of those things. I wholeheartedly agree with you. It's like after the meeting's done, I'm like, well, not much value added.
So
but-
then, because it's optional, I think we should drop it.
I think we could communicate with them if they want any updates, or we'd be happy to participate. I think some measure of communication with Metro regional government and all of their jurisdictions could be of value. Maybe.
And the city of Vancouver sits on that.
the city of Vancouver as well. So I mean, maybe we could have some discussion with them as to whether they think it's important that we maintain a role, or if maybe we could just get feedback from them. I mean, I'm open to changes, but I do think we need to somehow make sure that we're in the loop with what takes place there.
I feel like we're about to assign you that duty.
What's that?
So you're willing to serve?
I didn't say that.
But I think you could, monitor the agendas and see if there's any agendas that relate.
When were they? It's on the bottom here. Yeah.
Every
it's the
monthly.
fourth Wednesday, 5 to 7 p.m.
Oh, 5 to 7. And it's remote, correct?
Yeah. Except for once or twice a year.
I don't know.
Ambivalent. I think
I think it's okay to drop it.
it'll drop it.
Completely okay. If there's a critical issue that we need to be made aware of, we will be made aware of.
Okay. All right. Juvenile Justice Council. I've got 2 different lists here.
Danny.
Okay. I'll
Here,
stick to
sir,
this.
sorry to circle back. Can we maybe hold off on that decision?
You want to find out a little more
Yeah,
information?
I want to look into that just a little bit more before we drop it completely.
Which one, the MPAC?
Yeah.
Okay, so but as of now, I will not be sitting on that committee.
Okay, I've lost my place. Oh, North County. North County, I have served on that. It's totally in my district. I could, it's optional to have an elected. I can check with their chief and say, I did check with them in the past. I'm willing to serve on that, and I'll explore if there's an alternate that would he'd be happy with, because it doesn't need to be somebody from the council. Okay.
I can be alternate on that.
Okay,
I don't have a problem with that.
then Yackle, but you can participate remotely.
Oh,
I don't mind going up to
well,
Yackle
you know
from
what? I
time to
mean,
time.
that I'm still okay with that.
You can
yeah.
participate remotely.
Well, even going out there in person,
It's a good drive.
It's behind you as a primary. It's never going to happen anyway.
All right. Thank you. Opioid committee. We have
Yeah.
2 people who served on that.
Definitely would like to stay on that.
Stay on that.
And because the mental health
Right.
sales tax committee that I'm on is also very related, there's a lot of back and forth. I'd like to stay.
Right. I think the entire council will get involved with
Yeah.
discussions because of our strategic planning.
Yes, and I was going to mention this is something that we should discuss during that, because it maybe we can correct the problem with some other way, but if not, I think it would be beneficial to look at actually saying that there should be one counselor that serves on both of those committees.
Okay.
But we'll look at that later.
Right. But right now we have that. And what about an alternate for the opioid?
DDC, there's
Dee Dee is excellent, by the way.
Yeah, Dee Dee's
Just on top
always
of
there. She
everything.
is a huge value added to that committee.
So
Even
She's also there regardless.
Mhm.
So
Right.
if someone else wants to serve on it as an alternate, that would probably be fine, unless this is statutory. I don't know how this, do you know why staff member is listed there?
She's probably managing that contract, and Vanessa's on as well, but the OAC, I think, requires a board. And then I know Dee Dee, I believe, is the primary staff that manages that contract.
I think it's fine the way it is.
Okay. No alternate.
I think Dee Dee as the alternate. Yeah.
Okay. Public Health Advisory Committee.
I currently sit on it, but I'd be happy to continue sitting on the FAC.
Okay. Anyone else interested in the Public Health Advisory Committee?
I'll stay as the alternate.
Okay. Okay. Regional Disaster Preparedness Organization. It's an as needed and virtual.
Am I?
Right up your
Am I
alley,
listed as
Counselor
the
Little.
primary and the alternate? I'm actually not that interested in this one. It's kind of similar. I haven't been to a meeting where I thought anything relevant to our county actually happened at the meeting. So if anyone else would be interested in trying to, make it more
They may or
relevant.
may not have had a meeting.
oh, they have.
They have that
I've
meeting.
had to ask for alternates because I didn't have an alternate.
I did the boat
So-
tour for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was fun. I actually enjoyed it. And I think that was relevant to what was the regional? Yeah, that was definitely relevant.
So this one is because we talked about
The
this in
county
the past.
manager wants to
Yeah.
weigh
I
in.
believe they're looking at changing direction with RDPO, and it may not be helpful or useful for the county to be part of it, both for paying into it and representation. They haven't made, I think they're making that decision in the next month or two. So I'd recommend assigning somebody now, and I'll bring back more information when it comes. But initially, our staff's recommending to cease our relationship with them because they're completely changing direction. They've had a lot of financial impacts with the federal government.
Oh, in
Yes.
terms of not getting money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wouldn't mind stepping in for that because I was on that board for a couple of years.
Good.
So
So Councilor
Yeah.
Young is the primary?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Southwest Washington Regional Health.
Do we have a alternate for that?
Uh,
How
we
about
need
we
one?
just switch?
I can be the alternate.
Okay.
Okay. Southwest Washington Regional Healthcare Advisory Committee,
And
twice
Chair,
a year.
if I can ask Vanessa she's got some information that she just received regarding this one as well. Vanessa, if you're able to unmute yourself.
Okay.
Yes, good afternoon, counselors. This is Vanessa Gaston, Director for Clark County Community Services. So this advisory committee may actually sunset. So it's not required by any RCW or state law or state agency. It was created in 2016 by the three counties, Klickitat, Skamania, and Clark County, when Washington State was actually moving into healthcare reform changes. And so they wanted to meet at least once or twice a year to just give updates on what was going on with all of the changes going on, primarily with Medicaid. And since we are now, it's almost been over 10 years, we actually have heard from Klickitat County, they'd like to sunset it, and we're waiting to hear from Skamania if they would like to agree to that. And if so, then this committee would not exist. And we can find other ways to keep you guys updated. But as a region, Southwest Washington region, which consists of the three counties, that is how it was created and why and with the status of it right now.
Thank you. So would there be any need to have council representation during this period till
Only if it exists, only if those
only
three
if it
counties want
exists?
to
So we'll
go.
wait and see if it continues as an entity.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. So let's scratch that one for now. The Visitors Bureau, that is optional. I don't know if I think Councilor Fuentes, I've served on it, you've served on it.
I currently serve on it. I also don't see any value in sitting on it.
Right. Would there be any value in anyone from the county serving on that committee?
The only thing I would say is that we are contributors in the sense that the lodging tax collected in areas under our jurisdiction fund that organization. And I do know that there have been complaints, and I won't substantiate it because I don't know, but I remember previous complaints that there was not really enough effort given towards tourism outside of Vancouver. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I don't know. It's one of those things. I think we could probably let it go.
That's not my impression, and I think they do a really good job, but I don't think it's critical that a counselor serve on that, and I don't know if there's anyone else in the county that it would be appropriate to participate at that level. Maybe it sounds like we could scratch it.
As far as I know, they're doing a good job.
Let's scratch it.
Scratch it. It's a very early morning meeting too, as I recall.
7:30.
7:30, yeah, that's early for me. Urban County Policy Board.
I would love to continue in that capacity.
Okay. And is there an current alternate? Who's the current alternate?
I've never missed one of them, so but still we should technically have an alternate
Technically have an
assigned.
alternate. I'll be your alternate.
Okay, sounds good.
Given that you've never missed a meeting. Okay, Washington State Association of Counties Board of Directors. Who's serving on that now?
I believe I am. I'm way more interested in legislative work because that's what I do. Happy to swap, but I'm probably not interested in the board of directors.
I'd like to keep legislative, and it's way more than a Friday. A matter of fact, I have a all day, like most of the day tomorrow meeting, and you have to go to Olympia quite a bit. Normally when you go to Olympia, it's on a Thursday and it's all day. But there's once it goes into session, and actually even before that, it's all the time, multiple times a week. It's a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think I'm your alternate for that.
Yeah, and for me, Thursdays are one of my good days, so that's why this one in particular works for me. But it's way more than this Friday. It's all the time.
Okay, so we've skipped over the Board of Directors. It's neither one of you are clamoring for that. How often do they meet?
They meet
Busy
like
slate.
once every few months, but the meetings are like 5 hours long.
Did you serve on that
Not last year, but
the year before?
yeah, and the year before that. So I served on it for 2
So
years.
you have experience.
Yeah.
And you enjoyed it, didn't you?
I did actually. It was pretty interesting, but we had the drama going on at that time with King County and
That's right.
Pierce County kind of trying to bully the whole entire system. So that was interesting to see happen. But I don't know if I'd be interested in.
I'd be your backup. Very loyal backup.
He'd be happy to be your backup.
Can we circle back to that one after we kind of tabulate where we're at?
Let's see what
Yeah,
the
'cause I'm-
tabulation is.
For LSC, is it possible to have Jordan be the backup? Because he has come with me to a couple of different meetings, because some of the policy analysts from other counties or deputy county managers or county managers go to that. In addition to the commissioner or counselor that's assigned to the legislative committee, would that be okay?
Do you want him to be a backup or a regular attendee just to listen?
Backup.
Okay.
He has backed me up a couple times.
So are-
Counselor Little, though, has expressed
Yeah.
interest in serving on that committee.
I would prefer Counselor Little because he's got extensive connections and relationships with those people in Olympia.
Can it be a dual role, or if Jordan chooses to go, he can go as well? Is that okay? Otherwise, I'm happy if Jordan's there as alternate.
What do you think, Jordan?
Hey, council. So I do try to listen in to the LSC meetings, and as Councilor Belcott said, I've attended some meetings and conference sessions with her, and so I think regardless of who is the council representative, I'll do my best, as my schedule allows, to join those meetings and try to just stay on top of that so that I'm able to inform you all and be supportive in helping with any WASAC priorities or anything that's going on in the legislative session. Sorry, my voice a little shot today.
Okay, so maybe that leaves room for me to be the official alternate, but happy if Jordan shows up. Okay,
Official
official.
alternate. Okay, so Belcott primary, Little official alternate, and Jordan can participate really as he needs to. Okay, but I'm going back to the WASAC Board of Directors.
Well,
Every county ought to be represented.
Well, if we can just circle back so we can get to the last two. Yeah.
Circling back, oh,
Yeah.
with the tally, sorry. Workforce Development Council,
I currently sit on both, and I have a trip scheduled with them to Olympia in a couple of weeks. So unless anybody is really clamoring to be on WSW, I would like to continue sitting on their board and EBOC.
okay, we'll put you down unless anyone objects to both an alternate. Who would like to be the alternate? Have you missed any meetings? That might influence who would be willing to be an alternate. Not saying, okay. Well, maybe we do the tally and circle back to this one as well for an alternate. Okay, Michelle, can you,
And we have, I think, two
Oh.
more. One is the CAB, and I have Vanessa on as well, but we do need to have one counselor for
Oh.
our CAB meeting.
so that's a new one. Counselor Young, I know that's
Yeah, I
something
think
you've been
hadn't
interested
we
in.
kind of already decided on
That was
that?
last year, though. This
Was-
Yeah,
this would be part
this
of your
is a new
annual
year.
review.
Okay, but we didn't have any. I didn't serve in that capacity at all last year. Okay, yeah, I'd be happy to
Confused.
participate on that.
Okay, and alternate?
What is this one?
Community Action Advisory Board. You had work sessions on it with
I'd be
Michael
interested in
Flores.
that.
Okay, Ann Little.
As
Alternate.
primary or as
Alternate.
alternate? Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other one is the,
I can't remember the name. Michelle, can you say what the name was for the new one that you just sent to council? Yeah. If you could just say what the name is, that would be helpful.
So the FSEC board is the new one that I just emailed you guys all yesterday. And that board meets every third Wednesday at 1:30. So it does interfere with council time. It is quarterly. I'm sorry. It meets every third Wednesday at 1:30, and it is not hybrid. So it is in person. Oh, wait, the FSEC. I'm thinking of 3 different boards all in my head at one time. My apologies. So it is virtual. It's based out of Lacey, Washington. So it is virtual. But also they have what's called arbitrational hearings. And those hearings are mandatory of the entire FSEC board to meet, to attend those meetings, those hearings, and those can last for up to several days. So on in this board has a lot of where their councils have a designee that sits on their board. So whether you appoint somebody from like ComDev or community planning or somebody of that sort, you have your choice to choose a designee so you don't have to attend these meetings.
and why is this one added to our list?
They actually sent us that letter, and this one has to do with the cabling that's going in
Okay.
the underground
Big Eddie
through the river.
Oh, through the river.
Yes, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Lord.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That sounds like there may be some fish impacts potentially with that, Counselor Little.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's not just that. I mean, that will be where the transmission line debate is. And
This is-
we're going to be primary on that. So it's going to be a big time commitment, whoever
We'll
chooses.
be the alternate. I'm familiar with this project since I worked with BPA.
Well, and I think if you choose a designee, then you can have the designee come and give you a standing report of what is going on. Again, as long as it's not within if they have executive sessions or whatever. So that designee could come and report back to you of what's
I
what's
kinda
being
prefer
said.
that, because then we'll get a report, and it really is big enough of a deal that all of us should be equally.
Informed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And if the transmission line that's going to go through Clark County will go through FSEC, how will that work? I mean, who would we get as a designee? Because there
Yes,
could be
that is your
conflicts
decision.
if we're doing the permitting.
I'm looking at their website right now and it says county and city legislative authorities may appoint council members when someone applies for a facility in their area.
Well, that's why we're getting
These
started.
members can vote on decisions. So apparently they welcome conflicts.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, so when I did speak with the director of FSEC last night before I left, her name is Sonia, and yeah, she just says that they have a lot of designees on their board.
From like community
From
development,
other-
community planning type.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
employees.
I think that it might be wise to have a counselor, because if that's the level that we're voting on things, well, I guess we could instruct our designee how to vote on
Yeah.
things.
Just as a reminder, as Michelle said, these meetings happen during council time.
Right.
So
Yeah,
whoever is
we
going to
can't
be
change
a
that.
member is going to miss council time.
Right,
Which is fine,
right.
but-
Okay, I think good idea. Let's have a designee, and then they can report back to us and we can all be fully informed.
Who would you like the designee or which department? Do you have a preference? Or do you want me to talk to departments and see who has availability?
That would probably be good to see who has availability. I'm thinking they're all stretched.
It seems like it would be ComDev, but that would make sense for that. But I don't know.
I'll bring back a recommendation.
Okay,
Thanks.
great.
So now
Okay.
you want the tally, the draft tally.
Is there what was that new committee that got started and that one of the requirements was to have a counselor? Was it the accessibility committee?
Oh.
Uh,
Yeah, that one's not on there.
it's not.
We
on there.
missed that one.
What's the official title of that?
Clark County Accessible Community Advisory Committee. Yeah. Which I am currently the liaison. CCACAC. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So which, and Councilor Young, you're the primary now.
Yeah, I'm currently the primary. I'm okay if somebody else would like to take that role. It is a fun role to be in. If not, I'll stay.
What is it? Like, what does it entail?
Well, it's we're the liaison to the council to their committee, so we're kind of the pass through on things, and they, they're working on a lot of stuff, but they spent like the first year kind of really establishing themselves and figuring out what the scope is of going to be of what they're doing. But we did like a really fun activity. We went to Kleinline Pond, which is in your district, and they brought motorized wheelchairs, and we had some staff there. I was there as well, and we went through the park on those mobility devices and experienced firsthand some of the challenges that they experienced. So their role is to advise staff as well as the council and on occasion for how our policy can be improved with in terms of accessibility. And so like parks can, when they're designing things, the intention is that they'll bring it to the committee and they can look at it and provide feedback on aspects that that the staff may be missing. So it's really interesting.
Great. And thank you for participating in that. And if you're willing to do it again.
I
that'd
hear
be
no other takers, so I will put that on my list.
alternate. Yep. They're an alternate.
I'll be an alternate.
Great. He made it sound like so much fun.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay, so we're looking for a tally.
Can we first circle back? I have a few that don't have alternates.
Oh, okay. Remind us.
Alternate.
On the first page, I have the Clark County Reserve Officers Relief and Pension Board. I have the 2, but I don't have an alternate. The chair plus 1, so Belcott and Chair Marshall, but I don't have an alternate.
And this is an meet as needed.
No, this is a mandatory.
But they meet as
They meet
needed
as
at the
needed.
request of CCSO.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just need a name.
And I will say, Chair, I got this one confused with the Leoff. I've never met with this pension board since I was assigned last year.
Okay,
That's why you haven't either.
right.
Neither of us
Okay,
have.
well, that's good to know.
So not a lot of
Give
action.
me
So-
the name. I can do it.
Okay. All right. And any others that we missed?
There is, the next one is the Finance Committee. So I have the chair, but there's no alternate.
Do you want that to be the vice chair?
I think
Sounds
it
like
should
a
be the
plan.
vice chair, yeah.
Okay,
So that
Councilor
would
Young.
take care of the next few too, because Identity Clark County
Yeah.
and the Law Library Board and Trustees. So the chair, so all 3
And-
of those be the vice chair?
Yeah, well, I would say even with Identity Clark County though, because there's no votes or direction, it's just information sharing. So normally if the chair doesn't, I just meet with them still. It's just updating a county business. But I'm more than happy to invite Councilor Young if he wants to
Okay. Then the
join.
Law Library Board,
Vice chair.
perfect. And
That's the role of vice chair.
the other one was the Fairgrounds Liaison.
I'll do that. as
Okay.
a alternate.
Thank you.
It's not far from my home.
And then I have that. So then just circling back to the Wasac.
If they want to have numbers first,
Okay.
do we have an alternate for Juvenile Justice Council?
I believe we-
Counselor Fuentes is primary.
Juvenile justice. give me
Wait,
one
I think
We
second.
do Matt Little or Council Little.
Did.
That was little.
For the Juvenile Justice Council, I checked off Council Little.
Thank you. I'll make that.
Okay, so the town.
So whose list are we going by?
Michelle will count.
All right. Sounds like a neutral voice.
I can do it too.
But we still have to decide the Wasac board.
Yeah,
That's
we're
where we're
waiting
getting the numbers.
Oh,
Whoever has the lowest number might be one way to decide that. I feel like I'm good in not being that lowest number.
Gee, I wonder why.
On the board. Where we need that,
it's probably going to be me. I just usually when they have these meetings, it's usually commissioners and they're talking about like executive functional things. It's very related to Kathleen's job, and like a lot of times I don't even understand what they're talking about. It's at your level, and I don't know if the board has to be I suppose it has to be elected
You're
officials.
talking about the Wasac board?
Mm-hmm. It's just the content is not relevant to me often.
I think if I remember correctly, you can have designees for this one. It does not have to be the county council. I remember a couple times seeing administrators coming from like King County and other places. I think the larger organizations tend to send designees, and the small, the more rural counties tend to have the elected officials come.
Yeah, they go through lots of best practices on processes, databases, and systems, benefit systems, and things that are not
Yeah, if
really.
you look at their board members, like Pierce County has an executive, Snohomish County has an executive, Whatcom County. Most of them are counselors or commissioners. I think those were the only two. So it doesn't appear that it would have to be a counselor.
is that something you'd be interested in, Kathleen?
I'd be more than happy to do that.
Okay.
My only concern is again the time, because it is a 5-hour long meeting.
3 times a year.
Well,
I
you
think
could
it's
check-
more than 3 times a year. It's like once every other month, I think.
Pretty frequent, but I do see people pop in and out. It's virtual. You don't have to be there the whole time. You could see what's on the agenda relevant to you.
I do. She's a great multitasker too. I've seen that. I don't have that ability I have to concentrate on the meeting or I don't get anything out of it, but she's very good at that. I don't know.
Okay.
I think we'll leave that maybe up to Kathleen at the moment to explore that.
I still think we should share numbers, but I'm more than happy to
Yes.
do this one.
Yes, let's share numbers. Are we ready?
Sorry, I wasn't listening to the last thing. I was counting. So I'll just go in order. Counselor Young, 14. Counselor Belcott, 10. Counselor Fuentes, 14. Counselor Little, 7. And Chair Marshall, 19.
And is that total or is that primary? Is that total?
That's primary only. I didn't do
Okay.
alternates.
I also counted 15 for me.
Well, the two are one and the same at the very end.
Oh,
They're
What's two
both
different
work
meetings?
first.
they're 2 different meetings though.
Yeah.
So 15 for Fuentes.
Thank you.
You're very
Yeah,
welcome.
I agree. Those are
Oh.
separate. Yep.
You were.
And just know 4 of those is the entire council.
Yeah.
4 of your
of them.
primaries are
Okay.
they. So if you take 4 off of that,
Mhm.
that's what your net board is.
Absolutely.
So in Little's case, that would be 3 if you take 4 away.
No, I'm primary on 4. but alternate on a gazillion. And happy to take on others. 'Cause I'm
Not
really
all are
happy.
created equal too. Some,
Yeah.
I mean, your numbers can be easily inflated with something that doesn't even
For a little,
happen.
I think you have 3 outside of those 4. You have, and correct us if we're wrong.
Mental health,
So-
sales tax,
Mental health.
CGC, fish
So he's
thing,
got
opioid.
8.
He's got 8.
Okay.
With including the 4,
Including
that
the
is
4.
the full council.
Yes. Yes, so he had 4 additional boards.
All right. I think we may be done with this.
Yes, I had him.
You have the same numbers I have.
I think I could take one off depending on what happens with North Country EMS. But,
Okay.
okay.
Any
All right.
other changes or
All set.
anything? It'll probably be me.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that was probably the conversation I missed.
And
Any
I'm the
other?
alternate.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be you. I could send Jordan. I mean, depending on what it is. I'll look more into it in the next
Okay.
week or so.
All right. Well, thank you. That was a big, we only do this once a year.
So we'll get this up, say, on the spreadsheet. We'll send it to y'all. Take an individual look at it. If you see anything that's incorrect, let us know. If there is, I'll bring it back to council. if we
Right.
need to,
And
'cause there was
Michelle
one.
will add a whole lot of things to our calendars to update them. And as we get requests for who's going to be serving on what, I mean, some queries have come in to me, so I'll respond to those now that I know. Okay, council reports.
I mentioned it already a couple times, but I did just want to thank John Peterson, wastewater district over the Salmon Creek treatment plant. Spent quite a bit of time with him, and he has got that tour nailed down. Like the information that he provides, he's very efficient in delivering it. You get a ton of information very quickly, but it's all very interesting and relevant. So just appreciate him and his team and going out there and seeing what they do. And I'm thoroughly impressed with the amount of sewage that they deal with such a tight number of staff members. So they're very efficient in what they do.
He is really a national leader, and we're lucky to have him here in Clark County. He's a local boy and really dedicated to public service. So, okay.
Yeah, I was just thinking we could use this time in the future to not just be counselor reports, but they could be committee reports. Like if in the last week you had a committee meeting, it'd be great to hear a report of, even if it's not much happened, just a quick report.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we ought to actually put it on the agenda as a time for counselors to report on any meetings that they had, just so that we can stay a bit more informed. It can be just 1 line, 2 lines, just really quickly, just so that we have a report back on what's happening.
I thought that's what counselor report was for.
Yeah, but it's not happening.
Oh.
I think it may happen when there's something reportable.
Right.
So if there's noteworthy things, please report back to us.
Noteworthy is subjective to the, yeah.
All right. Well, we got this accomplished. So let's we can stick a pin in that and see how that plays out. One thing I would like to report on, I volunteered to be on the America 250 committee that Brad Richardson has been leading. They've had a meeting. I wasn't able to be there, but I met with Brad and got a briefing. So largely what it will be is just collaborating with everybody and coordinating who's doing what and be like the clearinghouse for events. One thing that he did bring up, there's an interest in trying to figure out a community fireworks show. And they were curious about the use of the fairgrounds. And if not fireworks, it could be a laser light show. And I'll just share with you my thoughts related to this because every 4th of July, people lament there not being a community event. And if we were going to do anything to curtail in any way fireworks, that's always brought up. Well, we don't have any place that we can go. If there was a place for people to go, and if it was lasers, which I haven't seen a laser show, but I guess they're very exciting, would be safer and I think could be a step toward having individual fireworks done in a safer way. So I'll just toss that out there and we can think about it. I told Brad that, well, we don't have any money. And if there's a large volunteer network and businesses or whatever that are willing to toss some money in to make something like this happen, I think maybe we just could be open to see what might evolve in these next few months. But I didn't make any promises. But
I have heard of, and I think I have a link to it, of jurisdictions that have used drones and done laser or drones for 4th of July. My only caution with the fairgrounds is we did try that and it started a fire and it had to be ceased right away. So
is that drones?
no, that was fireworks.
Yeah. I think fireworks, we've got a bad, that was not good.
Yeah. But I'll find the link that another jurisdiction sent me on their drone firework. I heard it was, I haven't watched
Well, it's
it
really
recently.
not fireworks. It's just a light show, really.
Yes. I think it's similar to what you're saying. It's
Right.
lasers, drones, but not fireworks. So yes.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Thank you.
Have they considered talking to the Historic Trust, Fort Vancouver Historic Trust, to maybe do
They've
something?
reached out.
And they're
Comments.
not interested.
Okay.
Yeah, good thought though, and that's where people's memories are going to the fort and having a whole day and the family and all of that. So I'll just continue to participate and see what evolves and report back under council reports. Okay, moving on, work session requests.
Yes, so we have a couple. The first one is the Public Works Division. This is updating the 2026 Stormwater Code and Manual update. This is required as part of the permit process, the stormwater permit process, that the manual has to be updated every 5 years. They do collaborate with ComDev as well as DEEB. So this is just a work session to bring that information forward to you. They're hoping next week. I'm not sure. We may not. I'm not sure if it's going to be on the calendar next week, but it'll be sometime in the very near future if council approves.
Are you looking for a thumbs up?
Yes, please.
Thumbs up.
Thank you.
Okay.
The second one is just the annual presentation from the Clark Community's Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee. It is in their bylaws that they bring forward information in an annual meeting that occurs in February, just to talk about what they accomplished in 2025 and their work plan for 2026.
Thumbs up.
Thank you. And the third one, I'm going to hand over to Councillor Little and Councillor Young. They had both requested to put the work session request on today's agenda.
I kind of want to wait till tomorrow to learn a little bit more before I put a specific request on, but Councillor Young, you may have some ideas of things beyond what I was thinking about.
Well, my thoughts are pretty much in line with what you had mentioned. I think the point to me is that we have an excellent tool, not perfect, but an excellent tool in front of us, which is the ag study, and we ought to make use of it. And so in that would be kind of what I'd alluded to before in terms of what are we going to do to look at potentially incorporating more land being zoned ag that's been identified that could be, as well as some of the thoughts that you had provided earlier about looking at the specific parcels that have been requested to be the expansion properties, and looking at those parcels individually, like with aerial view, to really understand, be able to evaluate it more on some of the other criteria that were not really studied as part of the ag study.
Yeah, I could give a little bit more background just for future, but I still would like to learn a little bit more tomorrow. And we did get a little bit into what I was hoping to do today. It just wasn't as in detail as I was hoping. As I mentioned, you know, this is one of the biggest decisions we make on these parcels. The cities have put together maybe like 20 different parcels that they want us to take action on regarding the urban growth boundary. And I thought it would be worth our time to zoom in a little bit more, basically see a satellite image of each one, see what is going on right there, see if it's in a transportation corridor or a future jobs corridor, hear a little bit more about each one, just so that we and the public, most importantly, the public can see on the big screen what each proposal is, so we can make a decision. But as long as there's no timeliness issue, I'd like to maybe request that next Wednesday. Councilor Young, unless you want to get going on something.
I'm looking at Kathleen for.
So for clarification, what for next Wednesday, put this back on council time agenda for a work session request at that point, not the actual work session.
Exactly.
Which one?
The request
The
to discuss the
okay.
request. Yeah.
I'm more than happy to put it back on council time agenda. This is brought forward by 2 counselors. So
I think the only question is whether providing direction to have a work session now or next week, will that impact timeliness of being able to get that work session together and hold it?
it will, yeah, it's going to take us some time off to work with Oliver and his group because, you know, they're on a very specific time frame now. So regardless if it's approved today or next week.
So I would say that to me, I feel like regardless of how the discussion goes tomorrow, there will be content that I would like to have looked at in a work session. I just don't know the entirety of that content at this moment. So I'd be comfortable with approving the request and, you know, working to get it scheduled in, but we could dial in maybe next week the details of how we would like that to look.
I'd rather hold off until you're ready to dial in. And I have concerns because what was listed here is vacant buildable lands model and density, but what you have said is really related to site specifics and the ag study. And what I would fear, and I think there are some out there who would like to see this happen, but really to do some parallel ag study on site specific requests, which I think would not be appropriate. I don't know if people have had an opportunity to read the ag study, and included in the ag study is other counties and what they've done when they have done ag studies and how they've addressed some of the findings that came forward. So I'm very leery of trying to apply other criteria than what was applied in the ag study. And within the ag study also, for some of those other criteria, there's justification for what was included and what wasn't. And that was the case really with all of the counties that did ag studies. Some things were weighted more than others because of their significance. My thoughts.
Well, I think, you know, I asked and got confirmation during that work session that that essentially what was done in the study was the data work, but the policy work hadn't been done. And that was those other categories for consideration. They very minimally touched on it.
I don't know. It's just my hope that we would be utilize data when we're making our decisions.
Absolutely. I think that's the intent of the work session, is to get more data, to see more specific detail.
I'm not really, as this is being described right now, in favor of this.
We're not requesting anything right now. At least I'd like to wait till next week. But if all counselors could kind of think about this topic and see if there is a work session that would be appropriate, where we could get more information about these requests, I think it would suit us well to learn more.
Fair enough. So put it on the agenda for next week again. And I do agree with you. I'm not quite sure how it got worded the way it was. For me, it was never intended to talk about VBLM, but
It was based on the email subject that Councilor Little had sent
Oh.
to you and to me.
It was in the subject heading of an email where I responded on a separate topic, and it was
Gotcha.
the subject line.
Councilor Little, are you good if I send that email to the rest of the council so they can see what your
absolutely.
thoughts are?
And the responses and the back and forths. Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
Just know the subject line might not be totally accurate. Good to know. Thanks. Okay.
Okay, so I'm hearing 2 to put this back on as a work session request next week. Okay, and then also, as Councilor Young mentioned, if you're going to be thinking about it, please bring specific information that you're asking, asking for more data. What is that data would be really helpful for staff to ensure that we're getting you what you need. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to policy updates, criminal justice sales tax.
Yeah, thanks, Council. For the record, Jordan Bogey, Senior Policy Analyst, was asked to give a little bit of an update since Council just passed our resolution back in August, taking the 10th of a percent for criminal justice purposes. As we worked through the application process at the state level to confirm our eligibility, there were a number of things that both the sheriff's office and jail had to do to update their policies to get eligible. And so I was asked to just provide kind of a brief update on that. And I'll give a bit of an update on some of the sheriff's office policies that were worked on. And I think we've got Dave here as well to talk about from the jail's side of things, some of their policy updates. And first, I want to say thank you to all the people who really spent a long time putting this application together. The application that was sent to the Criminal Justice Training Commission was sent out on December 18th. And Kristen Olson from the Sheriff's Office and Larry Stafford from the Auditor's Office spent a ton of time working on this with me. And I know Dave and Joe and a number of folks at the jail spent a lot of time working on their policies as well. So just want to acknowledge all the work that went into this on the staff side. And with these requirements that were part of verifying eligibility for the criminal justice sales tax, there were a number of model policies that the Washington State Attorney General's office had listed that kind of guided the updates. Many of them were already in place at the sheriff's office and in the jail. But there were some things that needed to be updated to match some of these model policies in order to be eligible. And I'm just going to talk about them at a really high level, try to be concise to keep it brief, as well as to not totally ruin my voice here. But from the sheriff's side of things, there were a few different eligibility requirements. The first was just making sure that our policies complied with the Keep Washington Working Act. And I'll let Dave talk a little bit more about that because there were a number of similar policies that the jail had to implement around this as well. But essentially, at a high level, Washington State, the Keep Washington Working Act says that we are not going to participate in federal civil immigration enforcement. And so the policies are related to ensuring that that's not the case and that our policies are clear around that. There are also a number of policies that were updated around the use of force. And so that is, de-escalation first, using deadly force as a last resort. There are a number of different elements to how deputies, use force in different situations, the different types of tools they can use, and making sure that those were compliant with the Attorney General's model policies and the requirements of the application. Some civil protections. These are things around protection orders. So, when there's a domestic violence incident and someone has a protection order, do we have processes and policies around that, as well as when firearms can be removed from households around domestic violence incidents and other incidents of those types. There were some policies related to volunteer. So, you know, the sheriff's office utilizes volunteers for some purposes. And there were policies that we had to implement and make sure that we're updated around training and the types of activities that volunteers do. They're obviously not, you know, they're not doing the same things that deputies are doing. A volunteer has, you know, kind of a different scope of work when they're supporting the sheriff's office. And so I will pause there and let Dave talk a little bit about the jail policies, and then I'll kind of talk about what the next steps look like with that application.
Good afternoon, Council. Welcome back. For the record, David Shook, Director of Jail Services. Of course, for many months, we've been talking about this House Bill 2015 and qualifying some of those things. And several months back, the Sheriff's Office inquired with us about our policies and how those went. Just for some historical data, when we became a department in 23, we basically took all the existing legacy policies, and those are the ones we've been using until we've updated them. And I think as of December 31st, we've updated all policies. And so anyways, in December of 24, we had actually gone back and updated this specific policy about for nationals and how and what requirements there are for jails when folks get arrested. We already had a pretty tight policy since basically the 2014 lawsuit down in Clackamas, which restricted administrative ICE detainers in jails. And so since that time, we've really lessened the ability to have these administrative warrants in our jail. In November of 25 is really where we kind of did some finessing of this policy, added in a lot of components about auditing and other efforts to include the public with results of contacts and different things. And so Deputy Director Barnett, who's online as well, him and several of the commanders and administrative staff had gone through that with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that we're definitely following the state model policies. Some of the things we actually, as a part of our process, had to include the public. So early December, we pushed this out to the public and got 4 or 5 responses. Actually, I think it's 4, right, Joe? And in that, most of the responses were the policy looked good. They had a couple grammar and a few other more kind of housekeeping kinds of efforts. And then one suggestion that didn't necessarily have to do with the jail, but law enforcement in general. And so anyways, we finally signed this policy December 31st and have put it out to staff. The next process is really kind of internal auditing for us as an organization to make sure that any of those tweaks to the policy are being followed. And a lot of it was really restricting federal access to inmates, communications, information that we have internally, and then setting processes in place of if federal organizations reach out, what's the process for that? And then documenting those contacts so that you know, we can share with the community and of course council and others. And so anyways, it's been a long process, but I think we're to a point now where we really like what it is. And I know Jordan had sent the policy to council earlier today, potentially, and again, hadn't posted it online for this discussion, but if I'm not sure if council had any comments, questions, or anything about that.
Thank you, David. Any questions or thoughts from council? Go ahead, Councilor Young.
Just wanted to thank everybody in their work for making sure that we get to the point where we're eligible for this program. So thank you for the work.
Anyone else? David, I wanted to follow up on something that we had chatted about. I went to a community meeting that was organized. There were several electeds and law enforcement. Unfortunately, you weren't invited, but it would have been useful for you to be there. But one concern that came up is that ICE agents are monitoring who is getting released from the jail. And if there's a Hispanic surname, they are kind of lurking and picking those folks up. So I don't know if there's anything on our end that can be done, but I think it just seems unfortunate and really targeting.
Yeah, Joe, so I'll start, and if you have anything to add, please do. You know, and again, since really 2014, there's been a lot of restrictions. And then since Keep Washington Working laws came into place, even more restrictions. We have ongoing in-service training, talking to our employees about the requirements of the law, and our job as public servants to make sure we're following the rules and the right things to do. I don't know the process of what's going on. I haven't seen any events outside of the facility in several months, if not more than a few. And what we have access, and it's to all the public, are our jail roster information, the courts and other places. And again, those are all available to the public. And so what I would tell you is that we continue to make sure that we are not violating any of the rules associated with that law. Joe, you've had some back and forth with some folks, and I'm curious if you have any insight for council and the chair and the community.
Good afternoon, Council and Manager Otto. This is Joe Barnett, Deputy Director of Jail Administration, for the record. I second everything the director said. Our staff know not to contact ICE, and informally, we've heard that ICE is hanging around the campus occasionally, but they're not working in conjunction with us. And as the director said, the jail register is open to the public, as are things that go on in the courthouse. So we're not participating in anything, and they're not sharing information with us, and we're not sharing information with them.
Thanks for that clarification. I appreciate it.
Chair. Just a question about that. I just curious a little bit more about that situation. So are there situations where people are leaving the jail and they don't have safe passage home? They are I mean, does the jail have any ability to escort people to their home, or what exactly is the situation that you're hearing is happening? I just want to learn a little bit more about that from anyone.
Sure. I guess what I would tell you is that we have people that leave at all hours of the day and night, and we don't have enough staff to be escorts outside of our building. We control a large population inside the building. Several months ago, I think in the media and other places, there were some arrests around our courthouse and facility. And I think that's what I was referencing. I haven't seen those any time over the last several months. But again, how federal agencies find information is we have looked through all of our databases and other things to make sure that that information is not accessible to the federal agencies working on immigration. Criminal is different than the administration part. We don't have a service to take people released from jail to their homes or other places to protect anybody, because it couldn't be just one group, it would have to be everybody. And so again, all day and all night, we're letting people out of here. We have quick access to the buses that run and when they're running, and we give out bus passes for that. But yeah, sorry, council, we don't have a service for that.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yeah, I'd like to echo all the thanks for putting this together. I know it was a lot of hard work, and I think it resulted in some training that at various levels. So thanks to everybody who participated in that.
Thank you, Chair. Back to you, Jordan.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you. So yes, the other piece was that there were a number of trainings that were required, and the Sheriff's Office was able to, over the last several months, complete many of those trainings, have their deputies and detectives do those trainings. And then there were some other requirements where, as CJTC develops some new trainings, we'll get those scheduled. I know the Sheriff's Office has plans to continue those, and those were submitted as well. So as I said, the application was submitted on December 18th. You know, with the holiday, there's a bit of a gap there, but CJTC is committed to reviewing that within just a few weeks. So I know they are reviewing the application currently. And if there are any small items that they would like the county to update or change, they'll let us know, and we'll have 180 days to fix any of those issues. And so we'll keep council up to date. Based on my work with everyone, I don't anticipate there being many, if any, changes that need to be made or updates to the application based on what was submitted. But if there are, I am very confident that those can be fixed well within the 180-day window that we'll have to get that fixed up. So again, thanks to everyone that worked on this. It's been a little bit of a process, but with a lot of folks' efforts, we've been able to make sure that we're eligible. And with council passing that resolution, we should be able to start collection for those dollars at the beginning of the second quarter of this year.
Great.
Any other questions on that, or I'll move to 8.2.
8.2 it is.
All right, thank you, council. So this next item comes to us from ECHO, the Ending Community Homelessness Organization. At ECHO's December meeting, they approved a draft letter that was endorsed by ECHO members related to some of the state funding for homelessness programs. And so I don't know if we can bring that up on the screen. I believe it was linked, but the letter basically asks that that our legislative delegation maintain homeless service funding that comes from the state, including backfill of document recording fees. So as you may recall, a lot of our local homeless services are funded through these document recording fees. So every time there's a real estate transaction, there is a document recording fee as a part of that. And those are the main funder of local homelessness programs. There have been fewer real estate transactions over the last few years, and so the state has backfilled those dollars to maintain level of service. And so we're asking that our state delegation do this again, in a year where they're going to have to prioritize what to fund, in the face of some fiscal challenges, to have the state continue to work to promote solutions that increase the supply of affordable housing and reduce the number of people becoming homeless due to their inability to afford housing. We ask the state to provide oversight to ensure intentional and internal coordination and communication between various state departments, divisions, and agencies that provide housing and homelessness related services and funding to better support local governments and our service providers as we work to eliminate homelessness. And then also ask the state to provide tools, increased and more flexible funding, planning support, and technical assistance directly to local governments and service providers to assist in mitigating the impacts of some of the recent changes to federal funding and contract requirements to prevent increase in homelessness. As you recall, HUD had changed how they were funding the continuum of care services. That was paused with some pending litigation, but that is likely to come back. And so we'd ask the state to help mitigate those impacts. And so because ECHO is made up of members from the county and some of our service providers, as well as all the cities in the county, it's not a decision-making body. And so they are recommending this letter to council and to all of the cities actually within the county. And so they're asking each of the individual councils to send these to our legislators to continue to support these programs. And so we'd just be looking today to see if council is supportive, and if so, if there are at least 3 thumbs up to send this letter to our legislative delegation. I don't know if Councilor Young or Councilor Fuentes have anything to add, but this is something that ECHO has been working on the last little bit.
Thanks, Jordan. The thumbs started popping up without even asking. So yeah, thumbs up all around. Councilor Young or Fuentes, would you like to add anything?
No, I think the letter explains exactly what we'd like a legislative delegation to advocate for.
There's only one thing that I would add, and it's exciting to see this happen, to see all of the different jurisdictions hopefully coming together and supporting each other and aligning to some degree policy. So this is kind of a first step. There's going to be more coming to all the different jurisdictions from ECHO, but what Jordan said is absolutely correct. We don't have any authority. What we're trying to do is align all of us in the county together to try to accomplish good things.
Thank you. Thank you for your work on that, one step at a time. And this is a very good one. Okay, moving on.
All right. Thank you, counselors. So the next thing is 8.3, and this is some legislative priorities at the request of the Children's Justice Center. There are a few items that they would like to see if council might be interested in supporting. And Michelle, I think Laurel Smith is also online. If we're able to add her, she's going to be available to answer any kind of technical questions that council might have. But I'll give a quick overview of the requests that that CJC has made in terms of some of their legislative priorities that they're looking for council support on. So there are three main items that CJC has sent forward. The first one is a request, and this is the one that has a current bill attached to it, and this is Senate Bill 5071. And what this bill would do is it expands the scope of the crime of endangerment with controlled substance. Currently, that only applies to methamphetamine and substances related to methamphetamine. They would like to expand that to include fentanyl and synthetic opioids. And so, crime of endangerment is when you've got a child or a vulnerable adult exposed to fentanyl, or to currently, as the statute is written, methamphetamine or those types of products. They'd like to expand that to include some of these synthetic opioids. The bill would also make child exposure to fentanyl a felony rather than a misdemeanor. In some of my conversations with Laurel, she expressed that the PA's office is seeing folks who are charged with this crime. It's a misdemeanor. They would rather take 10 days in jail versus getting into a drug treatment program that could last a year and a half, with a felony conviction that would hopefully push people to be more into a drug court program instead. And so the Senate Bill 5071 was actually introduced last session. It did pass the Senate 42-7, but did not get a hearing in the House. But we do expect that it will get reintroduced in this session. Laurel, is there anything you'd like to add on that bill that the council should be aware of?
I think that you covered it all, and really the concern here is that we've had a number of infant and toddler exposures, in particular to fentanyl, over the last several years. And at the Children's Justice Center, we handle those cases. And so if the baby or the toddler dies, we typically, depending on circumstances, of course, will charge a manslaughter, but it's for those overdoses that don't result in death where it's pretty ineffective when we don't have a law that would make that a felony, because then we're not able to get folks into treatment. So I think, Jordan, you covered that. Thank you.
Thanks, Laurel. So I guess, before I move on to the other two, I would just see, is council interested in, if this bill comes back, would you be interested in supporting it? Or we could continue to track it and bring it back when there's a hearing in place, and we could ask you again. How would council like to proceed on that?
I'm seeing 3 thumbs up, 3, 4, 5 thumbs up to support this.
All right, thank you, councilors. We'll let you know, if a hearing, if and when a hearing comes back on this bill, just so that you're looped in. But with this, if the hearing comes up quickly, we'll know that we can register and support, and I'll let our lobbyists know that.
Great.
The other two CJC items on our list today don't have current bills, but these are just issues we'd like you to be aware of, and if you're interested in supporting them, we can note that down too in case a bill comes forward. The second item is a request to have the council support matching the statute of limitations for witness tampering to match the statute of limitations for children's sex crimes. And so over the last few years, the state has extended the statute of limitations on child sex crimes. The law has recognized that most children who disclose sexual abuse often will delay those disclosures by months, years, sometimes even longer. The PA's office has seen multiple cases where a child is being sexually abused and then makes a disclosure 5 or more years later. and then also makes a disclosure that the non-offending parent was aware of the abuse and may have actively silenced them by telling them not to tell doctors or teachers or other people in their lives. And so the request would be for legislation to match the statute of limitations on tampering and witness intimidation, to extend that to the same length when they apply to these child sex crimes. And so if you match the statute to the underlying offense, then, you know, it's not just the person who committed the abuse itself, but maybe those who abetted the abuse or told the child to, you know, not disclose that, they would be able to be prosecuted for witness tampering or intimidation as well on that same time frame.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Just for context, this came out of the CJC meeting that I attended last time, and I'm glad we're bringing it up here. I'm curious, if there's no bill yet, is there anything we can do beyond bringing this to our lobbyists? Can we bring this to WASAC and see if there's support with other counties to move forward? I just want to, or is there, have you heard rumors that a bill is being drafted? What's the latest on that? This sounds pretty important.
Yeah, I haven't heard specifically. Laurel, did you say that the Association of Prosecuting Attorneys was working on some draft legislation on this issue?
I don't believe they're working on draft legislation. I can't remember if I had brought this one to them yet or not. I communicate with them about a lot of bills that have to do with CJC, and constantly I'm giving them my wish list on bills. But I will bring this one up with them and see if we can find someone to draft something.
Okay.
Thank you.
And, you know, and if council would like, we can also bring that up with Josh, with our lobbyist as well, and see if we might be able to find someone to sponsor a bill. Typically, once session starts, it can be a little tough to introduce new bills, especially during a short session. But you know, if council wants to make the effort on this, we certainly can see what we can do. And even if it doesn't move forward in this session, oftentimes that just sets the stage for action in the following session.
I think if there is a statewide association or some, since this will be statewide legislation to align with, that would be helpful. But I'd be supportive of this issue. Thumbs up all around.
Okay, thank you, council. And then the final item that CJC has brought forward to our attention here is related to sex offender registration and reporting requirements. So when someone who is a convicted registered sex offender, they move into Clark County, they are required to notify the sheriff's office that they moved in. They are currently required to give their name, their fingerprints, their photo, and their address. However, they are not required to share, who their employer is, if they are attending a school, including like Clark College or Wazoo Vancouver, or if they're volunteering somewhere. And at the same time, the sheriff's office is required to notify schools if there is a sex offender attending. And so there's a gap because those folks are not required to tell the sheriff's office, so they may not have an easy way to know whether or not someone who is a registered sex offender is attending one of those schools, or if they're volunteering somewhere. And so the request from CJC is they would like to change the requirements to not only have to have sex offenders share their name, fingerprints, photos, and address, but also give the sheriff's office information about their employer, their school, if they're volunteering somewhere, as well as contact information such as their email, their phone number, and if they have like vehicle information that they can share. And so that would help the sheriff's office in doing their duty to notify the schools in the case that a registered sex offender is attending there, so that they are aware of that.
Would this information be generally available to the public?
Laurel can you help with that?
Yeah, I don't believe that it would. I can double check with the sheriff's office on that. I believe when you look up on a sex offender registry, I believe it shows you the name, the offense, and I believe it shows you the address, but I don't, because we don't have these other pieces of information written into the statute, I don't know if they would show up or not. I think there's an argument to be made that there might not be necessarily a public interest in that information, but there certainly is a law enforcement interest in that information.
Right. I guess I would be concerned about if someone is then loses their housing, loses their job, there could be other ramifications that might be more than we're looking at. So that would be my concern.
This is a student, right, Laurel? It's related to a student that may be a sex offender, not a parent. The reason why I'm asking, because I'm a parent, and when I have to go into the school, they have to do a background check on me. I have to submit that before I can even step foot into my kids' schools.
Right. So this largely came about, I don't know if you all saw a news story a couple months back, but there was locally a youth football coach who was a convicted sex offender. And it was unknown that he was, in fact, a convicted sex offender. And there was quite a bit of community uproar when that was discovered. And that kind of shed light on the fact that the statute, we don't have any proximity laws with sex offender registration. So just because you're a registered sex offender doesn't mean you cannot go to schools or cannot volunteer in these capacities with children. But we think that that is information that should be reported to the sex offender registration unit, to the sheriff's office, so that law enforcement has that information and can potentially notify schools of that kind of information. And again, the law enforcement is required to notify a school if they have a sex offender in attendance, but the statute doesn't require the sex offender to tell law enforcement where they go to school. So it puts law enforcement in an impossible situation where they can't comply with the statute because they don't have the information.
Yeah, I'm familiar. I know what story you're talking about. And I personally, I wouldn't want any sex offender near my children. And I can definitely, they shouldn't be employed with a school, in my personal opinion, if they are a sex offender.
And is this in the form of a bill, or where's this issue at?
Yeah, there's not a current bill proposed. I believe that the sheriff's office has been working with Rep. McClintock on drafting language. I don't know that that is completed yet or where that's at, but I can certainly look into that and communicate that to Jordan.
Thank you.
I may have missed this, but was it for people that are attending school or working at school, or is it both?
We would like it to be both. So currently the sheriff's office has to notify a school if they have a student attending who's a sex offender. But we believe that it should apply to whether you're attending as a student or in another capacity.
Okay. Understood.
Would it only be related to proximity issues related to children, or any employment?
Well, what the sheriff's office would like is for a sex offender to report employment period, to know where they are working.
Where they are, right.
For the purpose of ensuring that it is not generally going to be a place that is heavily attended by children. Yeah.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
So are you looking for a thumbs up or supporting this or tracking this, or when there's a bill, we'll make a decision on it? I'm not sure where we're being asked for.
Yeah, so if council is supportive, of the policy generally, then, as a bill gets drafted, we could, just note that you are supportive. The other thing we could do is as the bill gets drafted, we could send that back to council to see if you all would like to support that as well. So it's really whatever council would like. If you'd like to support the issue, and I can get in touch too with Representative McClintock and see where that bill is at, and follow up with Laurel on that as well if council's supportive.
Right. I'd be supportive generally. I think everybody would. And then I'm sure we'll be tracking these on our regular Monday morning legislative meetings.
Yes, absolutely. As any bill gets drafted, we'll make sure that we're following along and ready to register our support when they get to the hearing stage.
Sure.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
And Jordan and Laurel, thank you for bringing this forward. Really appreciate it. I remember at that CJC meeting that more issues than this came up, and I want to make sure that we are covering all bases. I think Tony Golick and the sheriff also had some ideas. So I think, Jordan, if you could circle back to the folks who were on the CJC just to make sure that we're not missing any important issue that would help protect our youth, that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have an e-board meeting next week, so I don't know if you'll be there, Councilor Little, but that might be worth bringing up at that meeting next week as well.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Laurel. Okay, now the 2026 legislative session.
Yeah, so this one's short, councilors. I just wanted to remind you, the legislative session starts in 5 days, January 12th, Monday, and it will end on March 12th. So it's going to be a short 60-day session. It's going to be a sprint. The state is in a challenging fiscal position, and so there are going to be a lot of questions about whether there are going to be cuts, added new revenues, what the whole picture is going to look like. I think there are a lot of unknowns that are still getting put together. Please check your emails. I know our lobbyists have been sending regular updates, and I've been sending some updates via email as well. The governor submitted his initial draft budget, which does not raise new revenue. Really, it moves some pots of money around, but it doesn't broadly raise new revenues. We'll see if the legislature is interested in that approach or if they choose to do something different. And then also, just to let you know, our legislative briefings with our lobbyists will occur on Mondays at 9 a.m. So we'll have 2 opportunities during the session for you to weigh in on some of these different topics that come up of interest to the county, both on Mondays and then here at council time on Wednesdays. And then I'd also just ask, please watch your emails, because we do have a couple of Mondays coming up that are holidays. Those are Martin Luther King Day and then President's Day. And so since the county is closed on those days, we're going to likely have to find some alternate times. So I will work with Michelle, and we'll email you to see what alternate times might work for those weeks. But buckle up, because it's going to go fast. So we'll see what we can do and whether we can move some of our priorities forward here in this 2026 session.
Thanks a lot, Jordan, and I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to executive sessions, 9.1, pending litigation, RCW 42.30.110, paren 1, paren little I for 10 minutes. Pending litigation, same RCW for 5 minutes with potential after action. 9.3, pending litigation, again, the same RCW for 10 minutes for a total of 25 minutes. And I would say that would take us to 3:30. 3:35, that would give us a little time for a break as we make our way to our offices. And then we'll return following. Thank you.
The council chair has asked us to announce that executive session will be extended for an additional 15 minutes. An open session will reconvene at 3:50 p.m. Thank you. Good afternoon. The council chair has asked us to announce that executive session will be extended for an additional 10 minutes. An open session will reconvene at 4 p.m. Thank you. The council chair has asked us to announce that executive session will be extended for an additional 10 minutes. An open session will reconvene at 4:10 p.m. Thank you.
Council has returned from our executive session. Is there a motion?
Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I move to approve the request for defense and indemnification of Clark County employees Judge Gregory Gonzalez and Commissioner Jill Sasser, individually named as defendants in the case of Jamie Lynette Allen versus Clark County et al., United States District Court, Western District of Washington, case number 325 CV 05486 BHS pursuant to Clark County Code 2.97.025 and Clark County Code 2.95.090.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you for the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much. And with that, and without objection, this meeting is adjourned.